Now, despite tensions over the Russia-Ukraine war, G20 countries have agreed on numerous other points, from issues on debt and also monetary policies during the third Finance Ministers and Central Bank Governors, or FMCBG, meeting held in Bali on July 15th to the 16th.
Financial leaders of the group of 20 richest and biggest economies have wrapped up meetings on the Indonesian resort island of Bali, but failed to produce a final joint communiqué after talks were overshadowed by divisions over the war in Ukraine. Despite not producing a communiqué, G20 delegates agreed on 14 initiatives, as listed in the G20's chair's summary. Among the most important was that G20 members agreed to take collective actions on food security, supporting a number of multilateral initiatives. G20 countries also called for $100 billion pledges to help low-income countries and agreed to boost carbon pricing mechanisms to combat climate change. The G20 members also welcomed efforts to ensure cryptos are subject to regulation and support digital financial inclusion for MSMEs, women, and youth. When asked why there was no joint statement or communique from the meeting, Indonesian Finance Minister Sri Mulyani Indrawati said that all countries involved agreed the meeting took place under a very challenging and difficult situation because of geopolitical tensions sparked by Russia's war on Ukraine.
We are all agreed that this G20 meeting has been under Indonesia presidency in 2022 under a very challenging and difficult situation because of the geopolitical tension.
But Indrawati and Indonesian Central Bank Governor Peri Warjio said Indonesia would later release a G20 chair's statement that would include 2 paragraphs describing areas where the participants failed to agree.
Each country have an issue that they are also have the stand which is cannot yet be reconciled. Of course, there are other forum, for example, like UN and others in this case. But because they want to express their view regarding a certain issue, this is in particular related to the war, then that particular statement related to the war, reflecting there is still views which is different within the G20.
With inflation running at 4-decade high, U.S. consumer prices were up 9.1% in June. In the face of surging global inflation, Warjio said participants were strongly committed to achieving price stability.
Central banks are closely monitoring the impact of price pressure on inflation expectation and will continue to appropriately calibrate the pace of monetary policy tightening in data-dependent and clearly communicated manner, ensuring that inflation expectations remain well anchored while being mindful to safeguard the recovery and limit cross-country spillover.
The meetings in Bali follow a gathering of foreign ministers earlier this month that also failed to find common ground over Russia's war in Ukraine and its global impacts.
Recover together, recover stronger.